welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. You can find me on Instagram or Etsy as Wool Makes. This video is just going to be all of my finished objects that I have finished since December. I do have a few of them with me, but there are several of them that have either sold on my Etsy shop or they've already been gifted to the recipients. So the first one is, it was a commission from a family friend that wanted a reindeer snuggler. The pattern was from Etsy Plushies Pattern Shop. I will have it, all the patterns will be linked in the description box, and I will insert pictures of what I don't have with me anymore. I used Baby Bee Adorable in the color brown for that. I looked online, I looked at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, I looked everywhere for a brown, the Teddy Bear Premier Parfait Chunky, and I could not find it anywhere. It was sold out online everywhere, and that was the only brown that I could find. I didn't want that dark of a brown, but I showed it to the recipient and she was okay with it, so I went ahead and made it in the darker brown. So I will insert a picture of it here. The next item that I finished was a hexie cardigan for myself, and it is, I got inspiration from the yarn at, I think that they were selling at Michael's in the big cakes, but I didn't want to have to purchase any yarn, so I just used what I had on hand. And this is the back of it. So that's the back of it. I use Hobby Lobby's the Soft and Sleek line. I use just the red, the light blue, baby pink, the color tobacco is the brown. So that's what it looks like. Now I'll insert a picture of me wearing it here. So I finished that. And then the next thing that I finished was probably one of my most favorite recent things that I made. I had listed it on Etsy and it did sell. I was kind of hesitant to sell it though because I liked it so much. But it's a pattern by Crochet Crafts by Jana. She does have a YouTube channel. She has an Etsy shop and she also has a website. I will insert a picture of it here. The yarns that I used was Premier Parfait Chunky and Teddy Bear, Tangerine, and Yellow. That was such a fun, and it was actually really quick to make as well. Very minimal sewing. Well, I don't think you sewed. I think everything was kind of crocheted, like you made the wings and the feathers before the body, and it's crocheted into the body. So yeah, that was a really fun and quick make, and I really liked how it turned out. It was one of those patterns where, you know, sometimes you make a pattern that you see and it comes out looking nothing like the pattern, but this one did. It come out looking really good. The next thing that I finished was for my son. He enjoyed the show Stranger Things, and I had seen, I think it was Ella, an occasion name, had made, I can't remember if she used this pattern or if it was a different pattern. I think it was this pattern, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so I did make this pattern. However, I looked online when I was making my notes for this pattern to link it in the description box, and it's no longer available. So I'm not really sure if you can get this specific pattern anymore, but there are several more online. So this is what it looks like. It's some character from the show. Like I said, I've never watched it, so I don't know. I used, the body color is Toffee and Premier Parfait Chunky, and then red, and then just a black. And then the white, these are supposed to be teeth. I just used some white acrylic red heart yarn that I had. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. And he really liked it, so I made that. And then the next thing that I finished was, I can't remember exactly when I finished this one. I think I finished this before December, but I don't think I ever showed it. But I could be wrong. I don't remember. It is Chompers the Crocodile by KS Crochet Critters. I made this for my 3-year-old. And at the time, I didn't have any green yarn like this. So I did have loops and threads and the color ice cream. I still have a whole thing of this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. Because it is green, but it's, I don't know, it's like a blue-green. But anyway, it still turned out really cute. And he likes it, so. Okay, the next thing that I finished, I really liked this one too. I guess for nostalgic purposes, growing up, a lot of people had the geese, you know, the kitchen decor or whatever. This is Goldie the Goose by Alpaca Patterns on Etsy. It is a paid for pattern. And this is how it turned out. Super cute. The yarn that I used for the bonnet is, I love this yarn, and the color medium blue. And then the yellow and the white is Parfait Chunky in white and yellow. So I did that one. And I think that was, no, okay, that's not everything I finished. And then last week, I was on a pot holder kick. I've made several last last fall, and I use them all the time. So they're getting pretty dingy. And if I wash them, they'll be fine, but I haven't washed them. So I thought I would just make some new ones. I don't know if this is the right color. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. So for all 3 of these, I used a 4.25 millimeter boy hook. And I used the I Love This Cotton for this one. And I used a pattern that was here on YouTube. It's just the moss stitch, but you work it in the round and then you seam it at the top. So it's double thick. And then I do a chain of 15 and then slip stitch it here. I just haven't woven my end in. They've been folded up in my bag. So I did that one, and then I did this one. This one's a little bit bigger than this one because I did this one first, and then when I thought I was about to run out of yarn, I just went ahead and stitched it up. So yeah. I don't know the colorway. It's just one of the pink ones. And then the next one I have made a dishcloth. This is an old, I made this a while back and I never did show it, but it is in the Crafter's Secret Cotton. The At the Fairgrounds is the colorway. Like I said, I made this a while back, so anyway, just to show you the yarn. So in the same thing in the moss stitch pattern with what yarn I had left, I kind of wanted a small one anyway for my big stew pot when I'm cooking soups or chilies or whatever. The lid is glass and the handle is metal, I guess, and it actually gets pretty hot. So I kind of wanted a small one to use, you know, for the lid instead of one of my big ones. So that's what I did with this one. Like I said, it's the same pattern as the other two. It's just a moss stitch worked in the round. But it was a YouTube tutorial that I followed. And I really like this yarn. It's got all different colors in it. So yeah, that is everything I think that I have finished. Yeah, that's everything that I finished. I'll probably make a separate video of what I'm currently working on because this is already getting about 15 minutes or a little more. And so I'm going to make a separate video of my current whips because I do have a few acquisitions that I wanted to show before I cake up the yarn. So you'll probably see me in the same thing that I'm in right now. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.